Hello and welcome to one more lesson of our course Java Development. This lesson is about creating threads. Please give us your feedback, follow the tech skills, help us to grow. Welcome to the class, guys. Today we're going to see two ways to create threads in Java. There are not only two ways, but today we're going to see just two ways. Now my integrated development environment is opening. We're using IntelliJ in this course. It doesn't matter what integrated development environment you are going to use inside of your computer. What really matters is that we understand the code, we code the same, we have the same outputs. I'm here with my project created, the name is threads, and here we have the main thread. We talked about main thread on the last, and the main thread is where I'm going to write my code and you're going to write your code. Let's just print something here on this thread. Hello developer, I am the main thread. Shift F10 to run. Let's see, here we have hello developer, I am the main thread. This is our main thread. Now let's focus on creating our own threads. The code that we want to run in thread must be placed in our customized threads. The first way is to create a thread, creating a subclass of the thread class. Yes, thread is a class in Java, and we will override a method called run. So what we have to do now, let me just comment. The first way is to create a sub class of the thread class, and we are going to override the run method. Let's come here in the source and create a new class. We're going to give it the name. You can call whatever you want, but I'm going to call sub class. This is a subclass thread. Okay, and I said I have to override the method run. But how this is going to be a subclass of the thread class, I have to extend the thread class. I can override that method right now. I have access to the methods of the thread class. I'm going to click Alt, Insert, and come here to override methods. If you don't know how to use the shortcut in your IDE, you just have to write, but I'm going to use it. Here I have the access to the methods that I can override. I'm going to look for run. Run is here. It's a void method. Press enter. Here we have what's going to be executed when we start this thread is what we place inside of the run block. Let's remove this super.run and write something that we will remember. Let's, for example, say system out that print line. That's a shortcut. You just write SOT. Oh, you don't need to finish sometimes. Hit enter, and here we have I am the, let's just write subclass thread, which means output coming from the thread. And here we come to the main method. Okay, here on the main method we have to make the things work. We have created a class and we have extended the thread class. Now what we're going to do is to instantiate our subclass thread. That's going to be our thread. I'm going to call it subclass thread equal to new subclass thread. After we have instantiated this thread, it's not enough just to leave it so. We have to make it run. And how we make it run? We have to start the thread. So subclass thread dot, you may be asking me if I can use run. Okay, if you click on run, what's going to be executed? Just that block here, this block. What's inside here is going to be executed, right? But it's not going to be executed as a thread. So we have to start this thread. What happens here? You can see. Cause this thread to begin execution, the Java virtual machine calls the run method of this thread. What is the run method of this thread? Subclass thread. Let's go here. What is the run method? Is this one. this method is going to be called. Now it's time to test our code. Let's see if we have that output. Let's see if we have that output. Hello developers, I am the main thread. This thread first, then hello developers, I am the subclass thread. Again, here we have, I want to show you something. System out print line. I am here again, my developer, the main thread. Let me run again. Okay, see something here interesting to our eyes. Hello developer is the first line to be printed, right? Then we instantiate and we start this thread. You may be wondering, why do I have on my second line the last message which says I am here again, my developer, the main thread, rather than having hello developers, I am the subclass thread? Because this is the order in which I have coded to be printed. Well, I want to let you know something. When we deal with threads, we are not the owners of the order in which our instructions are going to be executed. When we deal with threads, we are the slavers of Java Virtual Machine and the CPU of our computers. In other words, when we start the thread, the Java Virtual Machine is going to allocate this thread to our CPU, and our CPU is responsible for scheduling at what time it wants to run the instructions inside of that thread. That's why we may have many problems when we work with threads. I told you on the last video. So we don't guarantee the order of execution of the instructions. Although we may specify the priority of the order to run a thread, we can't guarantee the order of execution. It's up to the CPU to execute, to schedule our threads. Okay? And now let's just write something here. Run it again. Sub class thread dot start. Okay, you may be thinking everything is going to be fine. I'm running. Oh no, legal thread state exception. I want to let you know something. We can't execute the same instance of the thread more than once. We can't execute the same instance, which is this one, subclass thread more than once. So if we wish to execute our thread, we must create multiple instances. I can come here, copy this, create a new instance here, and call it subclass thread 2. Then run the subclass thread 2. No, only one time. I could have exception, illegal thread state exception, because I was trying to start the thread subclass thread 2 times. Here I have. You can see now I have the two outputs here, and it's fine. So let's remove because we don't need. Now let's see another way of creating threads. We're going to create these threads using anonymous class. When we create threads using anonymous class, we're going to execute this code only one time. So if we want to run the code only one time, we can do it through anonymous class. Let's right now do that. Okay, using anonymous class, we write new the class thread, and here we override the method run. Alt insert for me, override method. Okay, I'm going to write with you right now. Not going to use a shortcut. That method is public void run method. Okay, and here I'm going to write what I want. System out println class start. We run it and we don't have access to that thread. If I had just left it wouldn't be meaningful for us. So we have to start because we won't have access to that. Start. Here we have, let's execute. Hello developer, I am the main thread, which is this one. I'm here again, my developer, the main thread, which is this one. Okay. Hey developer, I am the thread from your anonymous class. Did you see what happened? The thread from the anonymous class was first executed, then hey developer, I am the thread from hey developers, I am the subclass thread, which is this one, was lastly executed. This is what I had to show you in this lesson. You know how to create threads, at least in two ways. We have written our code here. We've seen the outputs together. Subscribing it on YouTube. Please share this video with your peers or anybody who's interested in working with threads.